Hey ho, it's Sexy Dimeo with a brand new video. Welcome everybody, it's more Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Today's video isn't really going to be a positive video. I had a completely different video in mind planned for today, but unfortunately, this is going to be a little bit more of a negative one. Now, I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a rant. I don't know how passionate I'm going to get about this topic that we're talking about today, but I am pretty pissed off about Call of Duty and what's going on recently over at Treyarch and Activision and all this bullshit. So I came home from work today and I didn't have a bad day at work. It was quite a normal day, to be honest, and I came home from work and I went onto my newsfeed on YouTube and I found a lot of people talking about the black market and how bad it is and the new update that came out to Call of Duty. I literally just downloaded this update like 10 minutes ago. Recently we started being able to buy like skins and different cosmetic items in game, and nobody really gave a shit about this. Everybody thought it was a little bit scummy, but nobody really thought it was going to be like the end of the world. Nobody really gave a shit. I mean, I don't really give a shit about these skins. I mean, they don't look good. The only one that I see that actually looks good here is like this one, but it's still not worth 600 COD points. This is something that's worth like 100 or 200 COD points. But anyway, nobody really gives a shit about like your outfit and stuff like that. But the thing that people are really annoyed about, and including myself, are these. Now we have fucking weapon variants. And no, these weapon variants don't actually change the gun or anything like that. However, they are extremely overpriced. This is just a horrible fucking system. The fact that we have to spend 2,000 COD points to buy a skin. It's essentially just a fucking camo for a weapon. And don't get me wrong, they look amazing. This pistol variant looks incredible. And so does this variant of the Maddox here. They look fucking incredible. You can't deny that. They look amazing. And people thought that charging people a straight up fee for weapon variants was going to be a way better system. It's better than supply drops in the sense that you see what you get and you could just buy it straight up. You don't have to rely on chance. But nobody expected it to be 2,000 fucking COD points. And don't even give me this shit that you get a bunch of other stuff. You get calling cards and emblems and shit. Like, who gives a fuck about that? The only thing people care about are the two weapons. You are essentially paying 20 bucks for two weapon variants, and that is extremely overpriced for a $60 game. The minimum amount you have to spend if you don't have any COD points is 20 fucking dollars, and that is just so ridiculously overpriced. I am completely for buying weapon variants with money, just straight up, not having to rely on a supply drop system, but not for this much. This is way too much money for two skins. You're paying 10 bucks for one skin that goes on one weapon. Do you guys remember the good old days of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 where you spent like $2 on a skin that looked really fucking good and it went on every single weapon on the game? You just bought a camo and it went on every single weapon in the game and it was only like $2. What the fuck happened to that? This shit is so ridiculously overpriced that I am considering whether the supply drop system was a better system, and a lot of people are starting to say that as well. People would rather have the supply drop system rather than this shit. And yes, you can unlock the Mastercraft version of the ICR right here by just playing the game, but still, the progression is way too slow. I don't want to have to spend like 200 fucking bucks just to get to the end here. As you guys can see, I have 3,400 COD points because it came with the edition of the game that I purchased, but I still don't want to buy this. I have the complete freedom to buy it right now and just get it at no extra cost, but I don't want to do that because COD points, you have to fucking savor these things. These things cost so much money. I don't want to spend 2,000 on this shit. This is completely ridiculous. I would be completely fine buying these variants if they were like $5. If I had to spend $5 to get this entire bundle, I would buy it in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even question it because I feel like that's a lot more fair. A game like Fortnite can charge you a lot of money for skins because one, it's a free-to-play game, and two, they're only cosmetic items. You are not forced to buy them, and of course, in Call of Duty, you're not forced to buy them either, but they look so fucking good. We want these things, but we don't want them at these ridiculous prices. If this price was changed to 500 COD points tomorrow, I would buy it in a heartbeat, and I would consistently start buying them throughout the lifetime of this game. But I'm not going to spend 2,000 fucking COD points. That is 4 times more expensive than what I'm willing to spend on this bundle. I would spend 500 COD points on weapons, but a skin that is this fucking shitty, what even is that? This thing goes for 800 COD points. It is so insanely overpriced and expensive, and I don't understand how anybody can justify this. I don't understand how anybody can defend Treyarch or Activision. Some people will say that I'm making this video for views because negativity on YouTube always gets more views, and I completely understand that, but I'm not making this video for views. I don't give a fuck about the views. I'm passionate about this game. I love Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I think it's the best Call of Duty that we've had probably since Black Ops 2. But fuck me, ever since the supply drop system, every single time Call of Duty is released by Treyarch, they just do whatever they can to just milk us of every single penny that we have. I want to support the developers. I want to spend money on skins. I have no problem doing that when they're at a pretty low price. I mean, if you're going to release bundles so frequently, if you're going to release weapon bundles every single week, do you really expect us to buy those bundles every single week until the next Call of Duty? Are you fucking serious? And that's not even taking into consideration that this game is going to be heavily supported for the next 3 years. What about the people who don't move on after this game? What about the people who want to stick to this game and want to support the developers, but they don't want to spend 20 fucking bucks every single week just on the bundles alone? There are other things you can buy as well. There are 52 weeks in a year, so let me go to a calculator right here and multiply 52 by 2,000 and see how many COD points you would need to spend. 104,000 COD points. Okay, now let's take 52 weeks and multiply it by 20 bucks. Say if you spend 20 bucks every single week to get just the bundles alone, you would come out to $1,040. That is just ridiculous. What the fuck? $1,040 over this game's entire lifespan. And if you multiply that by 3, you get 3,120 if you're going to buy every single bundle that comes out the entire 3 years that this game is going to be supported. That is ridiculously expensive. Nobody should ever spend even close to $1,000 on a game in microtransactions. Let's take 52 and multiply that by 5. You would only spend $260 in that entire year for cosmetic items. That is a little bit more acceptable. It's still kind of a lot of money. It's a lot of money that's spent on nothing that is actually useful. However, considering the amount of money that people are going to be making every single year from their jobs, $260 isn't really that much. I could very easily make $260 from my job, and I would have no problem spending that throughout the entire year for cosmetic items because I love Call of Duty. I play this game every single day. I have no problem spending that much money over that long period of time. I have a problem doing that on other games because I don't actually play those games that often. However, for a game that I'm really dedicated to, I don't really have a problem with that. I would spend $5 every single week on these cosmetic items. And everybody knows why they're doing this. They're doing this just because, one, they want to strip us of all the fucking money that we're worth, and two, because they want to appeal to shareholders. I completely understand that there are shareholders in the company, and Activision needs to make as much money as possible to keep those guys around. However, you would still make so much money with microtransactions if they were cheaper. Yeah, you wouldn't make as much money, but at least you're not asking people to sell their fucking souls for these things. If these bundles stay at the same price, I promise you, I will never ever spend a single dollar on this system because it is ridiculous. I don't support it in any way possible. I preferred the supply drop system from like World War II and Modern Warfare Remastered, but I fucking hate this. People will try and argue that this is better than the supply drop system because with the supply drop system in Black Ops 3, you have to spend thousands of dollars to get everything in the game. That's the same case here. If you just want to get the bundles throughout the entire year, you'll still have to spend thousands of fucking dollars to do so. And that is not even including the tier progression system for the black market. It's not including all the different cosmetic things you can buy in the black market, such as like outfits and calling cards and decals and all this ridiculously stupid shit. Why are decals 100 COD points? Why aren't they like 10 COD points? Who the fuck would want to spend $1 on one calling card? I would spend $1 on 10 calling cards that actually look good, by the way. I don't know, I mentioned this in another video with the last update that came out in this game. They actually made good changes to the game. They added that tier skip progression thingy in the black market, and I thought we were really going to take steps towards a good direction. But quote me, I said in that video, I just can't wait until they fuck up. I can't wait until they do something bad because Treyarch will always find a way to fuck something up. Man, Activision, they just know how to tug on your strings. They will do something good and get everyone's hopes up to actually stick with the game, and then they'll do something bad so that people will start hating on them again, and they make as much money as possible, and then they do something good, and then people forget about the bad things they do. We need to hold these guys accountable. This is ridiculous. A $60 game, a $100 game if you bought the battle pass, should not have $20 cosmetic items items that are sold every single week. You know what I would suggest to Activision and all these Call of Duty developers? Can we have a standalone version of a game that is like $200 or $300? Once we buy that, we get every single little piece of DLC in the game for free after that point. This works for the community and Activision at the same time, because for the people who are actually buying these bundles for $20 every single week, those are the type of people who look at the standalone price of $200 or $300 and think, I don't want to spend that money in one go, but they will spend that much money over a prolonged amount of time. However, for the people who actually want to buy that full bundle and get every single piece of DLC, they will not spend a single cent on these cosmetic items that can be bought separately in game. Someone like myself who is willing to buy a game for $200 or $300, if it means that we get all the small little pieces of DLC, that includes bundles, that includes Mastercraft weapons, I am okay with buying the game for $200 to $300 if it means I get all that stuff for free. But I'm not okay with spending money on microtransactions. So this is the best of both worlds. This is a way that Treyarch can take the money from the people who don't give a fuck about spending 20 bucks every single week, but it's also a way for people who aren't going to spend 20 bucks every single week to get the things that they want. And Activision will still make extra money on top of that. You cannot sell to people who are not in the market for your product, but I am in the market to buy a game for $200 or $300, a flat fee, just put my money down and get everything in the game straight off the bat when they are released. I think that is a system that is perfect. You can keep your microtransactions in place for people who are willing to spend money on them, but for the people who don't want to buy microtransactions, they can just buy a version of the game that will give them everything for free. Why can't we have that? I think that is the best system we can have, because no matter what supply drop system they try to bring to us, no matter how much they try to get rid of supply drops and sell us DLC on the side, cosmetic items for like $20 fucking, it's still a ripoff. It still doesn't make sense to the person who can actually fucking think about what they're going to do with their money. Well, anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I had to say on this topic. I just think it's ridiculous how fucked we're getting. Just every single year, the Call of Duty community, they just can't have one good year where most things go right. They always have to fuck up something, whether it be supply drops or just cosmetic items that are sold for stupidly large prices. The Call of Duty community repeatedly get fucked in the ass every single year, and I want it to end. I just want it to stop, because if they keep doing this, people will leave this franchise. This franchise is gonna keep going on this downward slope that it's been since Call of Duty Ghosts. But anyway, I've talked enough about this topic. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you smack the like button. If you want to stay up to date with my content, please be sure to subscribe. I'll have my last video in the corner. If you haven't checked that out already, definitely make sure to check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.